Hi, my name is Ben Mauk. I'm a freelance writer based in Berlin, Germany. For Virginia Quarterly Review, I traveled to the Russian Caucasus to write a story about a return migration movement among an indigenous group living there called the Circassians. They also go by the name Adige. The Caucasus are one of the most linguistically and culturally diverse places in the world, owing to their geographical isolation and other historical circumstances. And until the mid-19th century, there were a host of different languages and governments and forms of social organization there. And the largest group in the Northwest Caucasus were the Circassians. They were displaced by the Russian army in over the course of a century-long war that ended with a level of brutality that is sometimes referred to as the Circassian genocide. The Circassians live in more than 50 countries, 90% of them live abroad. But now, over the past 10 years or so, they have begun to organize a movement of Circassian nationalism, an effort to return Circassians back to their ancestral homeland in what is now the Russian Federation, and to achieve rights for indigenous language study and representation in parliament, in the Duma. So I went to Nalchik, which is the capital of a small Russian republic. It's the only republic in Russia where Circassians actually outnumber ethnic Russians. I went there in May to witness the annual Day of Mourning, when Circassians gather and march through the streets, sometimes with some police and state interference, to commemorate the Circassian genocide and their defeat at the hands of the Russians. Basically, I was interested in writing about this nationalist movement, what nationalism looks like among a people who have never had a nation, and what it means to be a nationalist in 2019, or to fight for indigenous rights in a place like Russia, which is quite autocratic and suppresses these movements. So this is a story about a forgotten genocide and a new nationalist movement that began online and that has now moved into the real space of the Russian Caucasus.